Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with Empires of the Undergrowth. I didn't expect that. Empires of the Undergrowth. You will become an ant daddy or an ant mama, and you will help them excavate nests underground, construct tunnels and chambers to store food and raise the brood. You will control a variety of warrior ant species and wage battles, and command your workers to build and supply your base. Also, you will have to protect your queen at all costs, at the same time navigating the threats and opportunities of the insect world. Missions are narrated from the perspective of a documentary filmmaker who is studying the ants. He offers intelligent insight into the happening of the colony and the undergrowth beyond. Yeah, sadly it's not Attenborough, but you get the idea. People in the Steam comments are saying that it's very fun to play, although it can be hard and frustrating at times. You know, ants are kinda dumb, just like your cousin, but once you get the hang of it, it is really fun game to play. The review score is above 90%, meaning that this may be the game you were looking for all along. 8-bit hordes. Basically, this is a Warcraft if it would be made using the Minecraft engine. You'll find two factions, the Dark Orcs and their undead friends versus those annoying humans, dwarves, elves and all that puny stuff in general. You will collect resources, build up and defend your base, amass your army of evil or, pathetic good, and ultimately crush your opponents, or be crushed by them. Game offers 24 offline campaign missions, 12 co-op missions to play with your friends, and 10 multiplayer maps that support up to 8 roles online, literally and figuratively. Although honestly, you will never see 8 players online. I'm not even talking about this amount of players in multiplayer, so if you want some player versus player battles, you're gonna need a friend. But don't worry, AI is present as well. It has multiple difficulty options, also it can play in a team with you or destroy you. It is quite capable of doing that. Believe you me, 8-bit hordes is easy to understand and is user-friendly in general. If you like RTS games, there is no doubt that you may like this one as well. Homeworld Deserts of Karak, a ground-based RTS prequel to the classic Homeworld games. It has nice graphics, great special effects and good gameplay in general. But do not expect miracles, campaign is only 13 missions long and it's quite easy. Interesting story, fantastic desert setting and beautiful music makes this game one of the candidates to occupy your time, even if it differs from StarCraft a bit. Just don't buy this game if you are interested in multiplayer. Nobody plays it, it's dead. Just like your hopes for your boss to increase your salary. Manolords. I remember when I saw the Manolords gameplay trailer for the first time and I learned the fact that it was developed by one man, I was really skeptical. How can an indie game created by one dude look better than Age of Empires 4? It seemed absolutely impossible and reeked of scam, but I was obviously wrong. Also, I'm sure that he got some help after he coined a publisher, which is Hooded Horse, one of the coolest publishers around. So Manolords is a wonderful city builder with elements of war. The visuals of the game are great, especially when you zoom in and see all that beautiful grass, all that beautiful graphic cards melting grass. Yeah, my PC froze a few times while I was playing a demo on ultra graphics. Also, I was recording a video in 4K at the same time, so it may have something to do with that as well. The goal of the game is to build a fully functioning medieval city. You start by building a hunting lodge, wood-cutting structures, peasant huts, all that necessary trifle, and you end up with a huge prosperous city of Cold Beeristan. I especially like that you can build lots and fields in almost any shape you want, and then your builders and algorithm will do the rest. Also, a cool feature is that you can regrow your forest. You have a special forester building where you can assign your workers and they start reforestation. Anyway, this is a wonderful RTS game. I can recommend it without a doubt. Nightside. This is one of the most original looking RTS games. Here you can participate in a war where lots of different blobs, schlorbs, glarbs and schleps fight each other in bloodthirsty battles for domination of the galaxy. Control-wise, it resembles StarCraft model really closely, so you will feel right at home here. Interesting thing is the decision to modify the fog of war concept. Instead of it, your units and buildings have light sources to see the landscape and enemy units around them. Game features 4 factions fighting over a resource called the Green Ice. The game itself doesn't seem very deep and it's quite slow, but if you want an RTS game with nice controls where you can chill and relax, this is the game for you. Cossacks 3. This is a remake of the classic game that originally launched in 2000s. Here you'll find 20 nations, 120 different unit types and over 220 different buildings. That sounds like an overkill, and believe me, it is. But it is also really fun to play. This game is like ultimate epic battle simulator before it was cool. Also, besides the battles on land, you can build an armada of battleships and attack your enemies at sea. The game offers 5 single-player campaigns. Cool feature is that the game lets you fight massive battles with up to 32,000 soldiers simultaneously on one battlefield. Just be sure that you have that NASA supercomputer for that. Godsworn. This is a fantasy RTS where you will take control of a divine hero, gather worshippers, rally great armies of mortals and mythical creatures, and crush your enemies to prove you are worthy to lead these lands. Protect your followers and burn your enemies with the light of the sun as the goddess Saule, or strike under the cover of darkness as the moon god Menes. By reading that, for me it is obvious that these gods are from Baltic mythology, which is shared between Lithuanians and Latvians. And I like that not only because I am Baltic myself, but because finally someone grew balls big enough and decided not to go with mainstream Greek or Egyptian or famous Estonian mythology, but rather took an original turn. Baltic mythology is super rich with incredible gods and creatures never seen anywhere else. The game looks and plays very nice, really has the vibes of modern Warcraft, except here you will be playing for and against pagan tribes and their overarching masters. The game is in early access, but the review score is above 90%, which is a fantastic result. Iron Marines. Well, it's hard to introduce this game somehow differently than as a flat 2D StarCraft, and you know what? It's great! The art style may look very familiar to some of you because the game is made by the same developers of Kingdom Rush, as I always say, one of the best tower defense games ever made. So here you'll recruit and train the greatest heroes in the galaxy, lead them into dangerous missions against near impossible odds and unleash their mighty powers and abilities. In short, you will get 21 campaign missions across 3 different worlds, and each mission will require new tactics and actions to achieve victory. You will have to defeat unique bosses and control 14 different heroes. The game allows you to choose from several difficulty modes, meaning that it can be enjoyed either by noobs or by veterans of the genre. The game is quite funny, filled with Easter eggs and more than 70 achievements for you to unlock. People on Steam are saying that if you want to play something like StarCraft but don't want to fry your brain while doing that, Iron Marines is the next best thing. The game has a very positive review score, so this may very well be what you were looking for after all. 9-bit armies, a bit too far. Most of us know the 8-bit RTS series, and this is the latest game in the franchise. It is so fresh that it is still in early access, but the game already has a great review score hovering around 90%. In 9-bit armies you will rally your military forces across a variety of battlefields and act out your strategy over land, sea and air. Yeah, the holy trinity of every good RTS game. You will deploy your airborne soldiers, destroy bridges and aim your super weapons at your puny enemies. You can also join others online, playing together with your friends in co-op campaigns or against them in a mix of skirmishes supporting up to 8 players. The game is filled with various innovations like swimming infantry or sharks who can eat them, but the UI and whole setting looks and feels very close to Command & Conquer, so you will feel right at home here. 9-bit armies will provide a bit better and smoother gameplay, better map layouts and medal system kinda similar to StarCraft 2 campaign achievements. You can download new maps and mods with full Steam Workshop integration and discover new ways to render all to burning bits and bytes. You can also upload your own mods and maps to share with friends and foes alike. The game also supports LAN PvP, so you can organize wild parties with your friends and keep your virginity safe like never before. Diplomacy is not an option. You will build walls, raise armies and experience warfare on an epic scale. And that is not just a fancy figure of speech. You will face over 25,000 enemies assault your castle walls. If you hope to survive and defend your city so it would become as glorious as Koltbiristan itself, you are going to master engineering, economy and even magic. Although there is one problem, you are not a king, just a minor lord without much power. Your king, on the other hand, is a mighty and powerful leader, and also he's a total moron. He drinks warm milk instead of beer, eats only well-done steaks and puts pineapple in his potato salad. Blasphemy! None of these things are true, but he's bad, I promise. Trust me. Have I ever lied to you? Well, I did, but not this time. So the king raised taxes one day to let's say, buy more pineapples. And now peasants who are not fond of raised taxes and emerging hunger are rioting in your part of the kingdom. King demands to wipe out the rebellion and go to the distant land to get some gold. Will you do as he says, or will you command the armies of undead and wipe out, humanity instead? Yeah, this game is wild and fun. A very positive review score is achieved by votes cast by thousands of players. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. This is a slightly better version of classic Age of Empires 2, but in general it's the same old game just in a slightly prettier package. If you played Age of Empires 2 a long time ago, you'll probably notice nothing new except the graphics. Well, who am I kidding? These are exactly the graphics you are falsely remembering. The game wasn't so pretty, believe you me. Visuals here are really nice. You can even zoom in a little. Actually, a lot of other stuff is updated as well, like farms reseeding automatically, more aggressive AI, slightly better pathfinding, and a bit of rebalanced technologies and units. Well, pathfinding is still terrible. I can promise you that you will be collecting lost units across the map all the time. Also, 4 new civilizations are included: Bulgarians, Cumans, Tatars, and finally Lithuanians, who were one of the most powerful nations in Europe in the Middle Ages. Also, keep in mind that if you make a game with 4 other AI opponents with a population of 200, you better borrow that supercomputer from NASA, because otherwise you will learn what astronomical lag means. Yeah, pun intended. Against the Storm. This is a roguelite city builder set in a gloomy dark fantasy world. Artistically, this is one of the coolest RTS city builder games I have ever seen. The style is very original and the atmosphere is breathtaking. I didn't like only one thing: here it never stops raining. I hate rain in real life because I wear glasses and this combo is never a good thing. But in game it feels like a never-ending visual interference. Some people may like it, some don't. So it's not a big deal in general. Anyway, here you are, a pioneer sent into the wilds to establish and manage new settlements inhabited by smart beavers, lizards, and humans. Weird choice of races, but I really approve of that. I'm so tired of elves, dwarves, and various combos of demons and undead. Lizards and beavers are awesome, and you will feel like one of them. You will care about their survival, about their happiness, and will protect them from danger. Well, not always. This is a roguelite after all, so the occasional defeat is programmed in the genre of the game. After a bitter end, the game will instantly offer you better buildings and devices, so your next run would be better, and the cycle continues until another bitter defeat. Your goal is to survive long enough and gather the valuable resources necessary to rebuild and upgrade your city. It's the only safe haven against the Blightstorm, a vile cycle of destruction ravaging everything in its path. On Steam it has above 90% of positive reviews, and I can give it 10 cold beers out of 10 without much doubt. Command & Conquer Red Alert 3. So, speaking about rocks, if somehow you were living under a rock in the bottom of the ocean far away on a distant planet in a parallel universe and avoided Red Alert 3, this is your chance to fill the gap and play one of the best RTS games ever created. Or maybe you have nostalgia and a way more powerful machine than in the year of 2008 when you were playing the game for the first time. So now you can enjoy the game in full glory. Also, you can find tons of mods now that improve the gameplay in one way or another. Red Alert 3 has an awesome campaign, still good looking graphics, and tons of fun.
And one important thing: if you like my videos, you can support me on Patreon and this way become a sponsor of every video I make.
Loria. If Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3 had a baby, Loria would be the final result. This game totally is like Warcraft 2.5. As I remember, this game wasn't free at first. The price was €10 when not on sale. So this is really good news. Although I have no idea how the developer has managed to deal with Blizzard's legal banhammer before. In Loria you'll find 2 campaigns, 2 playable races, 6 unique heroes, and quite an entertaining story. Also, this game is humoristic, full of jokes and funny sentences. If you have nostalgia for Warcraft, you won't find a better deal for your wallet, that's for sure. Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. If you like epic space battles, this may be your spoon of potato salad. Armada 2 is not a small game by any means. It includes 12 factions and 3 extensive campaigns that will take about 40 hours to finish. People on Steam are saying that the gameplay here is great and the tactical naval spaceship battles are really entertaining to plot, strategize, and then wage on. But quite a few people are complaining about constant crashes. Some of them can't go past even the first intro cinematic, so it seems that buying this game might be a gamble. Remember, if you don't have 2 hours of gameplay, you can refund the game. Just don't leave it running on the menu for 5 hours. That counts as well. Age of Mythology Extended Edition. Game takes place in the lost land of Atlantis and focuses on famous Nordic, Egyptian and Greek legends. Age of Mythology Extended Edition comes along with the expansion and the additional Golden Gift campaign, and that is nice. In the game you will train and use mythological creatures like Minotaur, Cyclops and other well-known monsters invented thousands of years ago. Yeah, back in the days it was really easy to impress. If you put a cow's head on a man's body, everyone was like,
Oh wow, so inventive, are you a genius?
or if you drew a man with one eye instead of two, that was the pinnacle of the creation back then. And now we look at all these bosses in the Elden Ring and we're like,
That is fine, I guess.
anyway, in Age of Mythology you can call upon the gods for assistance in flattening enemy towns with meteors, punish your puny enemies with lightning storms, or drown them in the ocean of their own tears. War for the Overworld. This is a strategy-based building RTS where you will excavate and build your own dungeon. Yes, you are almighty evil dungeon master or mistress. Here you can choose from over 60 rooms, spells, potions, rituals, defenses and constructs as you progress through the game. Just be warned, the game is quite fast-paced, so you'll have to build like a swift underlord you are, or else your beautiful dungeon creatures might not win against the ugly, puny heroes. In the game you can also build your own maps and campaigns, so unleash that inner creator you borrowed somewhere deep down under the bed long time ago. It's your time to shine. People on Steam are calling this game a spiritual successor of Dungeon Keeper. You know, with all the dark humor, evil creatures and evil you. Ashes of Singularity. He will battle for control of the galaxy as the advanced human race or their eternal foes, aliens named the Substrate. He will dive into massive battles with thousands of units in huge, really detailed maps, and that distinguishes this game from many other RTSs. Although keep in mind that these amounts of units in Ashes of Singularity require massive computing power.
Not as massive as your mama.
You can play the game alone or online with friends in ranked or unranked multiplayer mode, or play it by yourself against a powerful non-cheating AI in skirmish or campaign mode. That is actually great, a well-made and, just like your wife, let's hope, non-cheating AI is kinda rare because it's hard to make. So developers tend to cut it out and replace it with a fake AI instead that gets unlimited resources and can see you through the fog of war. It's like giving see-through closed glasses to the random pervert. But not this time. Ashes of Singularity doesn't cut corners. Or AIs. People on Steam are saying that the game has a fun level editor and the amount of lasers is never too high. Frozenheim. This is a Norse city builder game with nice management mechanics and multiple progression trees where you maintain and expand your settlement. As you launch exploration parties on foot and by boats, you will not only discover resources you can exploit but also draw the attention of the enemies who seek to destroy you. This is a really bloody RTS game where you have a chance to chop your enemies like butter or hide like a coward behind huge wooden walls and towers filled with archers so you could fill attacking enemies with your stingy arrows. Or if you lack arrows, you can safely swear at them and call the attackers and their mamas fat. To prove yourself an earl worthy of songs and sagas, you will build and expand Viking village from nothing to a rich, unconquerable settlement. Or very conquerable and puny, and you will have to load the game and play again, but this time without stupid decisions. Here you can forage, hunt, fish, grow your food and keep your clan safe as the season pass. Also seek the blessings of ancient shrines and build temples to win the favor of Asgard and all the Asgardians. Wyrmsun. Easy way to describe this game is that it is a Warcraft 2 but with modern controls. You can select unlimited units. The game supports Shift plus click to do a sequence of tasks, and it also supports massive resolutions where you can actually see more instead of stretching the view. Here you will also find 3 playable civilizations, story-based scenarios, heroes who carry their level abilities and items throughout the campaign, and possibility to mod the game as you like and even create your own custom heroes. So it seems that at last you can create a Bear Bender, the most powerful hero of them all. Terminator Dark Fate: Defiance. This is a real-time strategy game that follows the war between humanity and Legion's synthetic intelligent machine network. And Legion is another AI that emerged after Skynet was erased from existence. You know, the franchise needed an enemy, and to be honest, new enemy is always better than...
Somehow Palpatine returned.
So in the campaign, you will take the role of a commander in the Founders, a force made up of the remnants of the US military. You will guide your army in an attempt to mess a little with the Legion's plan to exterminate the last remnants of humanity. So in this near future, both in game timeline and in our real world probably as well, you will have to show that evil ChatGPT who the real boss is. And in skirmish and multiplayer modes, you can choose one of 3 very diverse factions: Founders, Movement, and Legion itself. You will often use the battlefield to your advantage. Physics-based building demolition lets you generate a realistic set of tactical consequences, especially in urban areas. Your resources here are limited, so every obstacle can serve to your advantage. People who play the game are agreeing that this is a very focused RTS, with challenging tactical mechanics and great storyline. The downside is that Terminator Dark Fate Defiance punishes you for mistakes a bit too harshly, and it is quite buggy, but developers are constantly, at least when I wrote the short review, updating the game and fixing various stuff, so it will only get better. Spellforce 3 Reforced. If you are searching for something like the third Warcraft, search no more. This is a fun mix of RPG and RTS, meaning that most of the time you will control heroes that can gain experience, new skills and all that. Really similar to Warcraft's additional huge maps where you control Rexxar, and the other half of the game is traditional base building, unit training and upgrading so you could swarm the enemy with your eternal wrath. Campaigns are really well written, so reading and listening for conversations will be the thing you'll do a lot. And I mean it, about a third of the game consists of dialogues. So if you just want quick matches where you can show your insane APM of 20, it's not the case. But if you want story-rich RTS RPG game, this is definitely for you. Halo Wars Definitive Edition. Title includes improved graphics, new achievements and all the DLCs from the original game. Here you can experience the campaign or compete in online multiplayer battles. It is a surprisingly solid traditional base building RTS. Game has 91% of positive review score on Steam. It's hard to ignore this number, it may not be a masterpiece, but it's definitely one of the best RTS games out there. The downside is that almost nobody is playing online anymore. You have to have a friend to test your might in PvP matches, or you know, a mother-in-law. Also, I have to stress out that the game is oriented for those who know what Halo is, but the knowledge is not necessary to play. So if you can manage to snatch Halo Wars on sale, it's a win. Dungeons 3 and 4. Here you'll be able to unleash your dark side by creating a unique underground dungeon from an array of rooms, traps and structures. You will raise a pretty despicable army here, and your goal of course is to corrupt the land and destroy all things cute and even remotely good. Yes, you can visit the overworld here and then
unleash the terror.
Games have randomly generated levels and with them great replayability. Isn't it awesome, friend? Don't you think so, friend? Have you noticed have I called you a friend? It's because you are subscribed to my channel, right?
Subscribe now or suffer.
Yeah, that's what he said. Anyways, people on Steam are saying that games have tons of Easter eggs and nerdy references, and that is awesome. And although the third part is great and all, the fourth one steps up a bit. Dungeons here are up to 4 times larger than before, and there are many more creatures who wait for your orders to conquer the overworld. Anyway, don't be shy to start with the third, and only then move to the next level. Command & Conquer Remastered Collection. These games were pinnacles of the RTS genre about 25 years ago, and now they are both fully remastered in 4K. That sounds amazing and plays floppy disks of nostalgia in my brain. In this release you will find all 3 expansion packs, rebuilt multiplayer, a modernized UI, map editor and over 7 hours of legendary remastered music by Frank Klepacki. If you are old enough to play these games when they were initially released, this is the best way to relive these days with way better graphics. Here you'll find many cool things, like upscaled cinematic footage, enhanced sidebar UI, leaderboards for one-on-one matches, replays, 250 multiplayer maps and even official mod support. But if you actually want a modern RTS game with all the cool stuff, these remastered games will not satisfy your needs. Go and play StarCraft 2 instead. It's free and it's awesome. Blackchain. This is a very nice old-fashioned StarCraft-inspired RTS that will take you only a few hours to finish. You'll be thrown to a year of 2088 where the solar system is ruled by those who can exploit it most efficiently. So I guess by someone like Elon Musk if he can detach himself from playing King of Twitter. Blackchain includes a classic campaign across the solar system with 12 unique story missions with full voice acting, base building, land and air combat, skirmish mode versus AI, also land multiplayer with 2 human players multiplayers, map editor, and custom games. Sadly, there is only one faction available. But hey, keep in mind that this game is made by one man and its price for a game that is made in the year of 2021 is ridiculous. It is equivalent of 10 kilograms of potatoes if you buy them in my city of Vilnius. So if you're not some weirdo who's considering traveling to Lithuania just to buy 10 kilograms of potato, better spend your money on blockchain instead. 8-bit Invaders. Remember all the Lovecraftian movies where bodies are merging with each other? You know, like The Thing, The Fly, or Annihilation with Natalie Portman. So if StarCraft and Minecraft were protagonists in such a Lovecraftian movie, 8-bit Invaders would be their merging result. See, you can always think of something better than just a cliché about
If StarCraft and Minecraft had a baby.
So this is a fast-paced RTS, a very colorful strategy arcade game that it's easy to learn for players of all skill levels. Collect resources, build up and defend your base, amass your army of tanks and starships, and ultimately crush humans with your metal tentacles, or show aliens who's the boss here. You'll find 24 campaign missions, 10 co-op missions to play with your mother-in-law, destructible environments, and you know who the composer is? Frank Klepacki, the same dude who created music for Command & Conquer 27 years ago, when he was 17. Yeah, I will keep repeating this fact. And if you feel that this 8-bit setting is appealing to you, keep in mind that you can also find 2 more games, 8-bit armies that are made with the fans of Command & Conquer in mind, and 8-bit hordes that can be appealing to Warcraft fans. Ancestors Legacy. This is a real-time strategy game influenced by historical events of the Middle Ages. Ancestors Legacy combines resource management and base building with large-scale squad-based battles across vast battlefields. It is all rendered in great detail with Unreal Engine 4. You'll experience medieval bloodshed and can enjoy a cinematic action camera that puts you right in the middle of the battle. People on Steam are saying that Ancestors Legacy is easy to learn and it's like chess. It involves a lot of strategy, so the more you play, the better you become. Basically, here a lot of options to crush the enemy lie in the plain sight, but only the master strategist can see them all. So the more you play, the easier the game will seem. Or not, you know, we all have our limits, and sometimes our limit is below the requirements of a victory. 5 Nations. If StarCraft was mockingly called a Warcraft in space, then 5 Nations should be called a Warcraft in space, because it is following the same gameplay formula as Blizzard games, but everything is happening, you know, in space. But don't worry, this is not some grand strategy game or something like a homeworld where the distances are huge and everything is happening super slow. No, in 5 Nations the background is space, but all the action is the same as an old good base builder RTSs. The game gets little attention because it's an indie game and they have no money to make a huge advertising campaigns. I found it just because I was especially looking for games like StarCraft, and it still took me an hour to get to this game. But now it may become a bit more popular because other YouTubers tend to copy my lists. Great thing is that you can play the demo version on Steam absolutely free and check it out with your own eyes. Although it's not easy to see where to download it, look in the right column above information about languages and you will see the download button. 5 Nations managed to stay true to old school gameplay, voiceovers and even writing style, and that is great. Northgard. This is an RTS game based on Norse mythology in which you play as a clan of Vikings vying for the control of Mysterio's newfound continent. In this simple strategy game you will find lots of victory conditions, atmospheric music, changing seasons and, as you can see, pretty nice art design. Also, the game has a decent campaign with a pretty good story. Sadly, as I've mentioned many times before, Northgard's AI is cheating with infinite resources and manpower, meaning that developers couldn't create really good intelligence that could win against humans on its own. Well, I know that many strategy games do not have strong AIs, but they at least try. But you never know, maybe developers were AI geniuses, but they were afraid of accidentally making Skynet. You know, being accused of making a bad AI is one thing, but being responsible for a robot uprising that destroyed human civilization? Yeah, you know, better safe than sorry. Nevertheless, Northgard is a good RTS game for a few days, or maybe more. Maybe you will fall in love with it. You know, like Tapeworm falls in love with your guts.
And now thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Also, you can support me on Patreon if you like my videos, and this way become a sponsor of every video I make.